A very good evening to all our dear viewers, and a very warm welcome to each one of you and to our esteemed speaker for this live session. Myself, Joya Khan, Ambassador of Change from Getty, and your host for this evening. Heralding the beacon of excellence and holding the dawn of a new era, I bring greetings from the entire Global Education and Training Institute fraternity. And as we usher in winds of change to steer this session ahead, it's my immense pleasure as I warmly welcome our esteemed speaker on this live forum of Detox for Educators, Miss Riddhi Doshi Patel. Ma'am is a child psychologist and parenting counselor from RINS Academy Private Limited, Mumbai. Ms. Patel is a qualified child psychologist, parenting counselor, TEDx speaker, and advisor to 16 TEDx clubs. She is the recipient of multiple awards, including the National Award and Young Entrepreneur Award. She is also the founder of Lajja, India's first forum for women that focuses on women's development, growth, and self empowerment. She has established six Lajja chapters across India, working in tandem for the growth, development, and empowerment of women from rural and urban settings. Ma'am is also a qualified trainer and has conducted training programs for corporates, individuals, educational institutes, and NGOs. She is a well known advocate for mental health awareness and also has the distinction of conducting the very first online roundtable conference to discuss the recommendations of the new education policy 2020 and submitted white paper on the churnings from the same to the Ministry of Education. So I think, ma'am, your illustrious career, if I were to speak about, will go on and on. And you are going to speak on a very important topic, and that is student well being. We all know how important it is to mold the personalities of students, and because it helps them to shape their life and their futures. And student well being generally refers to a state of psychological, intellectual, emotional, physical, social, and spiritual wellness. It also deals with positive relationships, which are key to student well being. When students feel connected to their peers, teachers, and other school staff, they feel more valued. So, without further delay, over to you, ma'am, for your presentation and a very warm welcome once again.
Thank you so much, Ms. Khan, and a good evening to all the viewers who are there online, and maybe later you're going through this presentation. So it's an interesting topic, and let me just share my presentation with you all. Ms. Khan, if you can just help me, wonderful. So it's all about student well-being. Now, Ms. Khan has beautifully explained why it is important that uh, we need to have a process on place, or we need to think about student well-being. And when we narrow down from students, it can be the younger generation, the youth, the children, the adults, and the teens. Everybody comes that under the umbrella of students. While we're talking about the well-being, as much as we as educators, as much as we as parents, as much as we as trainers emphasize on the physical health and the physical well-being of a human being, a child, a student, to be more precise, it is important that we start emphasizing on the mental well-being and the emotional well-being as well, because that is something which is going to help them in a longer run. That's going to help them in the next 10 to 15 years if they are emotionally aware, if they are, their mental health and well-being is strong or taken care of. they would be able to sustain in this world which is completely turning towards AI. And in the world of in the world of artificial intelligence, holding on to emotions is not that good. It's better to be aware, it's better to be mindful, and it is better to be having an increased vocabulary of emotions. So let's go ahead with the segment here and we talk about self love. Now, our country, India, has beautifully, in during and since ages, have been emphasizing on self love. But unfortunately, barely 7% to 8% of the people and barely 15 to 16% of the younger generation is aware of what self love is. Self love is nothing to do with um, going out and having a cup of coffee, or just looking after oneself, being a very self-centered person. It is much more than that. As a trainer, as an educator, as a parents, the responsibility lies in us to help them understand that why is self-love so important. Now when we say self-love, or when we say that okay, you need to love yourself, um, it's easy to say, difficult to do, because they know that they are supposed to love self, but they do not know how to go about it. And hence today we are going to talk about how this self love needs to be inculcated in the younger generation, or imbibed by us in the younger generation, or inculcated by them. So the first and foremost thing is we need to help them to be aware of their strengths. When I say aware of their strengths, is probably the first thing you can ask them to do is list down 10 things that they like about themselves, and the 10 things they feel that they need to work on, or those are their weaknesses. When they will put this on paper, you will understand that they have got a little bit clarity about their strengths and their weaknesses. Now when we say strengths here, or when we say what they like about themselves, you can specifically mention that it has to be um, different from the skills that those are the skills that are imbibed, or the things that have been learned in the due course of life. It is all about, it's their core. Now for few people, for few youngsters, their core is communication. For few youngsters, their core is networking. For few youngsters, um, their strength is uh, helping people, being very kind. For few is listening skills are awesome. For few, it is just standing by somebody and allowing them to share their their problems, and just saying that in a very powerful way. They see that find me just besides you. That is also a strength. Some are really caring. Some are good in studies. That is a strength also. And they are so good that they even take honorary lectures for their fellow students, or the students those are in the lower grades. So every young mind has, or every young adult, or every student has some or the other strengths. Some are very prominent, and some are less prominent, but doesn't mean that they have it. And while you're asking them to list down the strengths, they can also list down the things that they don't like about themselves, or you can see that what are the weaknesses, or what are the things you feel you need to work. And when they are listing down the strengths and the weaknesses, they can narrow down to the three things that is at most priority to start working upon, and hence they can start working. Now as an educator, as a trainer, as a parent, you can help the student to list down the process on what the weakness has been, and allow him to understand that where the person needs to start with. For example, one student might come and tell you, this is just an example, somebody might say that um, I cannot write content. Okay, it can be anything, because these days everything is about social media and youngsters are doing it beautifully. They have, in young age, they have picked up jobs for digital marketing and social media handling and a lot of things. But few might come and say that I can make lovely creators on Canva, but I cannot create content. Here you need to create a process for them. Now, what is a process here? When I say that, when a person, a student cannot write content or cannot create content, you can help them that, okay, what are the pointers you feel that comes under this segment? They can list down 3 or 4 segments, and then you can say, okay, elaborate this each segment into 3 or 4 lines, and that's how you create a content. Give a starting to it and give an ending to it. That's how you create a content. This is a process. This, if a person has a weakness, you can help the yeah, student, a young adult, to work on himself or herself, and that's how a weakness shifts from the weakness side to the strength side, right? So that is all about self love. First, that is strength and weakness, is helping them to understand. The second important thing that falls under self love is all about understanding worth. When you understand your own strengths, it is important that you feel that that is the best in you, that is your USP. That is something wherein can help you connect with people, that can help you achieve laurels in life, or that can help you gain more confidence, or that can help you even have money coming in. All right, that is a job or through a freelancing work. So, the easiest way to do is not advising, but to help a person create self worth, you need to acknowledge, you need to appreciate, and you need to accept the young adult as the way they are and help them to set a process. Not many young adults or not many students are aware of the process that has to be put in practice. Where, as an educator, a trainer, or a parent, it is our responsibility to help them put our process on place. Simple as that. Third, so we spoke about helping the young adult, helping the student in regard to strength and weaknesses, understanding. The second, we spoke about worth, self worth. Self worth helps in creating a good self esteem, and when the esteem is high, the person can handle lot of things that's coming their way, specifically bullying or any other setbacks that a person faces in life. Because when the esteem is high, the directly proportionate value that has been created is resilience. So esteem and resilience goes hand in hand. So when you are helping the young adult or a student to create or have a high self esteem, what happens is the person is resilient. The student is creating side by side a quality of resilience. And when we are talking about self love is all about being resilient, all about esteem, high esteem, understanding worth, and all about connecting with self. So the fourth segment here would be connecting with self. And here, when I say connecting with self, a simple exercise of giving a tight hug to self works wonders. It's miraculous. This is something which, as an educator, as a parent, as a trainer, I would want you to be teaching your students. I would want you to be teaching your children. I would want you to be teaching your attendees the power of hug, self hug. When a person self hugs or hugs oneself, there is a kind of self connect that happens within. There's a connect happening between mind and body. And when a mind and body is connected, We are not in the past, we are not in the future, we are in the present. And when we are in the present, and when we do work, when we talk, when we connect, when we are doing something, or we want to initiate a project, everything falls on place, because we have not cluttered our brain with the past and the things in the future. We are in here and now. This is something which we as educator, parent, trainer need to inculcate in the students. Very, very important quality. This is all about self love. I hope you can start, you may start doing this for yourself as well. Being an educator, being a trainer, being a parent, because I do a lot of these things which I have spoken right now, and that helps me a lot. You can give a try as well. Going ahead, self care. There are a lot of myths associated when we talk about self care. By the way, आपने अगर मेरा टाइटल देखा होगा, it is हो जा जरा मतलबी. Okay, does it mean that being matlabi is self-centered? No, being matlabi is putting yourself or giving yourself a bit of priority in life, rather than giving priority to multiple things that comes your way, like your career, your studies. I don't say studies and career are not important, or friends, or social media, or your gadgets. No, I don't say that they are not important. They're certainly important in life, but giving importance to oneself is very, very, very important. So here we talk about self-care. Now, does self-care talk about going for a spa, or does self-care talk about gymming? Does self-care talk about just spending uh, hours and hours on social media, or playing some games on gadgets? Or does self-care talks about spending um, worthless time with people who doesn't contribute in your life? No, self care is much more than that. And let us talk about it, because you are, as a trainer, as an educator, as a parent, or probably a counselor, you can teach this to the younger generation, young adults, and students. Now, what is self care? Self care is spending time with self. Now, is it quantity or is it quality? It is completely quality time that you spend with yourself. Quantity doesn't work. Even 10 minutes a day spending time with yourself has a huge impact on your productivity throughout the day. Try it out. So morning, the first thing which you can start doing it or inculcate in the younger generation is help them to understand that 5 minutes in the morning, or 10 minutes, 5 minutes is less, 10 minutes in the morning, sitting with a cup of milk, chai, coffee, anything, and a diary of yours helps you to plan your day. Self care is all about planning and not taking undue stress in life. Just a sec, please. Yes. So it is all about taking care of self, not indulging into something which can give you stress. So morning 10 minutes is miraculous, and your productivity is double folded. Now, how to go about it? So in the morning, while you're sitting with a cup of chai, tea, Bonvita milk, or a coffee, whatever the student loves, help them understand that plan your day. As simple as giving a call to somebody for some work, as simple as visiting a friend, as simple as um, creating a PowerPoint presentation, as simple as writing an email. Everything needs to be listed in the to-do list. The things that one has to do in a day. So this is all about self-care. Now, does this 10 minutes speaks about that particular day? No, it doesn't. It plans your months and months. Now, how does it go? So if I am a practicing psychologist, and I have a habit of doing this since years now, what I do is, morning I sit with my diary every day. It's my ritual, and I give half an hour because I have to schedule appointments also. So with a cup of chai and my diary, I'm sitting on the dining table and I'm planning. So today's to-do list I complete. Now while I go to sleep, I give a tick. So morning 20 minutes, and late evening before I sleep 10 minutes. So throughout the day, half an hour is something which I give to plan my day, plan my fortnight, plan my month, and plan my year as well, I would say, because that goes very easy for me. Now, how do I do that? So before I sleep, those 10 minutes, I put a tick on the work that has been completed, right? And next morning, when I'm starting my day, my to do, I take the day prior, look to the list. If the things are not ticked, your and the next day I will write carry forward, that is C/F. I will list down those things, and then I will add the new to the list. Okay, how does it help? Now if I am scheduling an appointment today and I have to meet the person after 10 days, I will open the diary after the 10 days ka date. I'll open that date, I'll open that page, I'll write it there, and there at 5 p.m. I'm meeting this and this person. So not only I'm planning my today, but I'm planning my schedule after 10 days as well. So after 10 days, if the date, it's the same date, and if somebody asks that, Riddhi, you have your time free, I have to just open my diary, check, and say, okay, these are the slots available, rest is booked. So it makes my work easy. I am not cluttering my mind. I am not thinking on my yaad rakhungi. No, my diary is there. I write it and I'm done. You can do it on paper, in a paper format. That's a diary which is in a paper format, or you can have it in the Google itself. It can be either ways, whichever is easy for you. That is self care. Second self care is a process. Second activity, process, whatever you say. Self care is all about health. What are you doing to look after your health? Now when I say health, here is mental, emotional, physical. So all three is important. Now how are you doing this? So for physical health, maybe exercising, 15 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, as per you, the time you have free, or you are free, you can involve your physical health, uh, you can involve yourself in maintaining your physical health. Second important thing, as a mental health practitioner, what matters to me is how much do you care about your mental and emotional health. So here the second important thing is meditation. Now, is meditation something wherein you have a closed room, a dark room, you put a banner that do not disturb, I'm meditating? No, it is beyond that. Probably you can put some music, something which is soothing. You can close your eyes, take 2 or 3 deep breaths, and start focusing on the breath and the music. Just enjoy. That is also meditation. That is musical meditation. Probably you can play a music and just move around with your eyes closed. Start connecting with yourself. Start looking deep within. Self-care. So mindful and aware time spent with self is also a part of self-care. Third important thing which falls under self-care is the young adult, is the student looking after his or her finances? Because when the money is not there in the pocket, when the money is not there in the wallet, it gives them lot of stress. Are they planning? Are they budgeting the finances? Are they handling the pocket money well? Have they started earning? Help them understand the value of entrepreneurship, help them create some niche for themselves, and help them to do or initiate something which will get them money, and the stress is lessened. And also help them side by side to understand what budgeting is, right? That's going to help them in a longer run. And side by side, the stress is not there. When stress is not there, it's all about self care. One more segment which falls under self care is decluttering. Now, the youngsters have a habit of cluttering the room, cluttering the wardrobe, cluttering the mind, cluttering the laptop, cluttering the desk, everything. it's a very general statement, and I understand you must be thinking, why am I saying, why am I giving a general statement? But this is a observation which I see in the major, which I see majority of the youngsters doing it. So you, as an educator, parent, counselor, trainer, how can you help them understand that decluttering is very important? So for wardrobe, 6 months you've not worn anything, give it to somebody who can wear it. For your desk, the more it's cleaner, the more concentration and focus you have for your work. And decluttering the mind and the brain. Simple meditation works, exercising works because they are in your and now, and a simple technique of shaking off. Playing a music and shaking off the body works wonders. You are in here and now, you're shaking off the futuristic thoughts. You are shaking off and removing the past, the regrets, the hurts, the insults, the moments which you don't want to remember or recall. You've shaked off. You are in here and now. And when you are in here and now, you can do wonders. You can create miracles, and that's all about self care. I hope you understood this, and I hope that you'll be able to help the students put this into practice. Going ahead from here, the next is, आप मतलब ही हो क्या? Ask your younger generation, ask the students, ask the adolescents, the teens, the young adults, आप मतलबी हो क्या? आप करते हो क्या कुछ इसमें से? मतलबी होना सेल्फ सेंटर्ड होना नहीं है. मतलबी होना is not about thinking about self and दुनिया जाए भाड़ में. No, मतलबी होना here is all about self care, self love, self acceptance, self acknowledgement, and self appreciation. Probably you can help them understand that the 3 A's in life are very, very important. Have you accepted yourself as the way you are? Or you are looking into the mirror and you are thinking that I'm not looking good. Oh God, मेरा नाक तो टेढ़ा है. Oh God, I've got such gray hair. It's just in the front. Are you constantly judging yourself in terms of, I couldn't perform well in the exams? Oh, my marks have been less. Come on, stop judging yourself. That doesn't mean that the younger generation doesn't work hard. They have to work hard because it's all about their life, their career, and they need to have something on place, right? They cannot be dependent on parents all the time. They can't be dependent on the educators. They can't be dependent on the trainers, or they can't be dependent on the counselors. Here it is important that they stop judging themselves. They are in here and now, and they start working on themselves. So here being matlabi is all about self-acceptance. You need to work and enhance of all the things that you have in hand, and not crib about things that you don't possess or you don't have, right? Second is about appreciation. Have you ever seen somebody appreciating, aaj to maine ye kiya, wow, so beautiful, how wonderful, how capable you have become from 5 years, from last 5 years to now, from 2015 to now, 7 years or 8 years. Your graph is such a good, it has progressed in such a good manner, or has progressed in a wonderful way. Appreciate self. Have your self audit on place. And when you see your audit, when you do your audit, when you write your audit, that gives a complete awareness about what you intend to do. Now, when I say you, is not you, dear trainers, educators, counselors, and parents. It's all about the younger generation. It's all about the students. And hence help them understand the 3 A's in life is very important. कभी कभी अपने आप को जज नहीं करके appreciate करना बहुत जरूरी है, और acknowledge the efforts. If you have given your 100%, then acknowledge. If you have not given the 100%, again sit, do an audit, understand where was the gap, work on it, then acknowledge your hard work, appreciate that the efforts you have put in, and then I'm sure you'll get the results. Results is just not about studies. Results is in multiple ways, right? And results is everything. Wherever you put efforts, the results are there. right? So this is something which we need to be, uh, you know, teaching, sharing, facilitating, educating the students on going ahead. The five important virtues, or I would say not even virtues, I would say segments in life for students is collaboration, empathy, concentration, problem solving, and communication. These five things, we as trainers, educators, parents, counselors, psychologists, we need to teach these five skills to the students. I would say these are a part of life skills. As much as we are emphasizing on the younger generation to allow them to learn cooking, driving, how to fix a tire in a car, or how to fix a tube light, or something which is broken and how to mend it, this skills also helps them to sustain while they are focusing on their future or their career. How? Collaborative mode works wonders, supporting each other, helping, enhancing the skills, helping, enhancing the strengths of each other, and doing collaboration and working makes a huge difference. If, for example, if me and a very good friend of mine, we are, uh, if my skills, my forte, my strength is all about writing or creating content, and her strength is all about creating the artwork, and maybe third person would have some wonderful understanding about social media and how does the algorithm work and how does marketing happen, probably a social media or a digital media company we can start, and we can collaborative efforts, and we can start a company. This is how we collaborate, we complement each other's work, and together we give a wonderful um, uh, bouquet to the people who want to associate with us or who want to use our services. This is something which we need to help the students understand, that collaboration works wonders. Empathy, empathy towards self and empathy towards others. Now, many a times I have observed that the younger generation, I have seen two extreme types of younger generation in my practice as a psychologist last 15 years. There are people who are absolutely empathetic towards children with special need, adults with special needs or disorders, or physical disability. Um, they are completely empathetic, and they're so accepting also LGBTQ community, while there is an other segment who looks at them, who makes them feel uh, like dirt, who makes them feel unwanted, who behaves very rudely with them. Okay, here we need not have two extreme segment, but we need to have just one segment. Here is acceptance, acceptance, acceptance. And when can acceptance happen? When an individual has learned to accept self, is where the person will be able to accept the other person. So acceptance towards self and others is very important. And here it's important that they are, you inculcate emotional vocabulary in them. You help them increase their vocabulary in terms of emotions, because when they are able to do it, they are aware of their feelings and emotions, and when they are aware of their feelings and emotions, they are very, very empathetic, because they understand themselves, and when they understand themselves, they're able to understand the other person. So we don't want two extreme young adults in the society. We just want one, and we want people who are empathetic towards self and towards others. Concentration, meditation works wonders. Problem solving, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग क्यों जरूरत है for younger generation. They give up very easily these days. I see that they tend to do things which are not supposed to be done. They give up very easily. Patience is less. um, Help them with small techniques what problem solving is. Give them few case studies. Give them things to solve. Give them scenarios to handle. Give them, if you're a parent, give them money and say, okay, this is the budget for the month, run the house for 1 month. Give them challenges, give them responsibilities, create leaders, because leaders are resilient and leaders know how to solve the problems. Leaders don't give up easily, right? So this is something which we need to inculcate in the students. And last but not the least, it's all about communication. Does communication involve only talking? No, communication also involves listening and assertive way of talking. The students associated with you need to help them understand what is assertive communication, what is listening skills. Assertive is all about understanding the other person, but talking about your feelings first and talking in I language rather than you language, because you language disrupts and spoils the relationships, while I language connects and help the other person understand each other. So I language is very important, and this is something which we need to teach the younger generation. And while we are talking about communication, one more segment which falls under communication is all about body language, that is the non-verbal communication. This is the last that I'm going to handle at our ho jao zara matlami. But communication is very important, and in that, body language. Now there are three sort of people: mousy, demon, and the rabbit. Now what is the characteristics? Mousy are the people who don't know how to say no, who accepts whatever dirt that comes their way, whose body language is completely this, with folded shoulders, because they feel that they are worthless. They are the mouse people. Now comes the demon people, who's very loud, very heavy, printing body language, who walk over people, who use people when needed, who can be rude, who can be very stubborn. And comes the third level, and their body language is more print body language, I would say. And the third person which comes is the rapid body language. And how does it? It is just like it's not like a turtle. It's not like a demon. Turtle is the mouse body language I'm talking about. And the person is normal with shoulders back, stomach in, smile, and knows how to say a no. Also knows that what are his or her strengths, also knows what are his or her weaknesses, and knows how to understand self emotions and feelings, and is very empathetic. Because when these virtues are embarked in a student, what happens is the body language changes. The person is neither mousy, the person is neither demon, but the person is a rebel style, because they talk about assertive, understanding self emotions, understanding others emotions, are empathetic, are understanding, talks in I language, doesn't let people walk over them, not so pushy, but very helpful, and works in collaboration with people. So this is all about understanding. This is all about understanding about love, care, and understanding self. It's all about hoja zara matlabi. Do you have any questions for me? Then please feel free to ask. You can write in the chat box, and I'm here to help you out.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for that beautiful presentation. It
Thank you
was
so much.
so much crisp and to the point.
Thank
And
you.
I think the students must be feeling very important today, because it is their well being that was being discussed and spoken. We all know,
Yes.
whether we are students, whether we are adults, wellness is one factor that is taking the, I mean, the front path, because we all are working under stress even as adults, and I think students have been under immense pressure during these last two covid years along with us as adults. So the importance of well-being, I think as adults we do understand. Now today, you have made it very clear to all the students, to the teaching fraternity, to parents, and I think if we have heard you very, very attentively, I'm going to personally take have wonderful takeaways, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Miss Khan. Thank you.
So, what I could gather from your talk was that student well being definitely encompasses the overall health of a student, including their social, mental, physical, and emotional health. And you also spoke about the self love and self care, where you gave them the footage of enjoying their life, having the satisfaction of their me time. I call it me time, where you said that it's not, not being self centered. You want nothing to intervene in that me time when you are sitting with that, lovely cup of tea. And it's very, very precious for you early in the morning, sitting and just relaxing in the midst of nature. So you have, allowed the students that me time, enjoyment and satisfaction with life, which are inextricably tied to a student and the well-being. So in a nutshell, student well-being is the way that they perceive themselves and their life. What happens in school is the key to understanding whether students enjoy a good physical and mental health. How happy is a child? How satisfied is the child with his environment, with his surroundings? And you have briefed us about, the strengths, the weaknesses. And these days, I think even a very small child is very conscious about his or her self esteem. So that cannot be neglected, and giving yourself that priority, the importance, spending quality time with yourself, and even if it is 5 minutes, even if it is 10 minutes, you need to begin your day on that note where you sit, plan, enjoy your life, meditate, listen to probably some good music, and begin your day on that positive note. And I think a feeling of gratitude and planning go a long way in making you look forward to a very, very successful day. And also, you spoke about a very important thing, and that is budgeting, ma'am. At this age, where students, are getting almost everything on a platter, from the time they open their eyes, these days, they are seeing everything being served to them on a golden platter. So,
Absolutely.
in this scenario, diverting their mind towards budgeting. You said, okay, give them the freedom to run a house on a given amount, and let them take it as a challenge. So if they're big enough, they can do it. Even small children, give them a handful of a limited amount of money, and let them spend it wisely, and just ask them, what have you done with all these things? I think this was a very important point, where children learn to value the money, and then later on they'll be able to earn the money that they so much value. And also decluttering of the mind. Not only our wardrobes, our wardrobes, the clothes are tending to fall on us as we open the. So, along
Yes.
with decluttering the house, the wardrobe, it is decluttering the mind for having a clearer mindset, a positive approach in life. And I really liked that sentence of yours, "Kya aap matlabi ho?" And I think we all need to be a little matlabi at times. We need that to be self centered, which is in a very positive way, leading to self love. And where you say that let us not involve ourselves in judging ourselves, let us not be judgmental, rather depending on those three beautiful a's of acceptance and appreciation, acknowledgement, And I will, with your permission, add one more thing: adaptability. So,
Lovely.
so that is one thing also there. And like the new education policy, all the educators are definitely focusing on the 6 C's. And you have very beautifully mentioned in your 5 main skills, where you have included collaboration as one of them, communication, concentration, empathy, and problem solving. And these are all part of those 6 C's that are very, very relevant and valuable today. So, another very important point for my dear parents, I hope you have heard ma'am saying it out loud: create leaders in your children right from the time they are there in the homes. We need to hone their skills and talents, and draw out that hidden talent from within. And we don't know the immense potential that they are hiding inside them. So, as parents, as educators, ma'am, you have literally rung up an alarm bell, where we all need to equip ourselves, rise up to the occasion, and help the students focus upon themselves, their inner well-being. Once the child is well from inside, again he's feeling well from mentally, then obviously it leads to the student well-being on the whole. So that was
That's true.
very, very beautifully presented, ma'am.
Thank
And
you.
I hope dear viewers have heard you quite clearly and well. Ma'am, we'll be very happy if you take one or two questions.
Sure. Please go ahead.
uh, how do schools and colleges affect the well-being of students? In what ways?
Lovely. So, in all the schools and colleges, I know many educators would not like me saying this, but the morning starts with prayers. I don't say that prayers are not important, but before prayers, I want you to handle or take care of the mental health. Probably the children who have come there in the school that day or the college have faced something really bad, maybe a trauma, maybe a grief, maybe have seen the parents fighting, maybe have seen the father incurring huge loss, maybe have faced a lot of stress. So, more than prayers, morning time is getting them in here and now and helping them to love self. So, 5 minutes each day where you help the child. For me, child is everybody within the age group of 0 to 19 are children for me. They have variations, but for me, they are children. So, any child coming to your school and college 5 minutes or 10 minutes before even you have prayers help them to have self-aware, self-love, maybe some time for self-care, and helping them to let go all the things they have been holding. And I'm sure that's going to help you as educator as well, because probably you have cooked before you have come to the school, probably you had a very unpleasant evening with relatives a day prior. Probably in the morning you have seen an accident, probably you've hurt yourself in the morning. You also come to the place, to the education institution with a lot of thoughts and something which is very negative. As an educator, we also need to work on ourselves, right? So this is something which helps you as an educator, and that helps the students as well. Both of you are in here and now, and when then the journey starts with prayers, and then the teaching starts. See how beautiful, you are able to teach and the children are able to grasp. You can always try this. By the way, I had tried putting in practice the whole segment with a school here in Mumbai, which is a government school, and we had amazing feedback. So please, please, please try this.
Beautifully put, ma'am, and I absolutely taken. I agree with you. A prayer, the assembly of a school, sets the tone for the day. So I hope the schools are listening, the teachers are listening, and I'm very sure that they are already doing it. Most of them are already doing it. And in case there are schools which are not focusing on it, so after today's talk, they will realize the value of prayers, how it really sets the tone for the day, not only for students, but for us adults also. It calms one down. Ma'am, another question is, what is your take? on students' well-being programs in school?
It's must as much
And
as
what
you
kind of programs would you suggest?
yes. So more on mental well-being and emotional well-being programs need to be done in the schools. Happiness programs can be done in the schools. And when I say mental well-being, allow the facilitator to do a more activity based, wherein the children have tips and tricks to inculcate in daily life and not being limited to a PowerPoint presentation. So having a very experiential sessions or workshops in the school pertaining to emotional well-being and mental well-being and happiness programs works wonders for students. Also, side by side, while we are talking about mental and emotional well-being, programs like leadership, programs like personality enhancement. I'm not saying development because we all have developed personality. We are supposed to enhance it. So, personality enhancement, maybe a little more on the public speaking, maybe a little more awareness on the presentation about self worth. Such small, small workshops are going to help the younger generation, the students, gain more confidence about self, gain more confidence about his or her existence on the earth, and probably that's making their mental well-being more stronger, the emotional quotient more stronger.
Thank you so much, ma'am. One more question. How, at your level, would you measure, what is the rating scale? How would you measure a student's well being?
Well, it's difficult because when we say mental well-being, apparently it's difficult to measure unless you have assessments, because while there is any physical ailment happening to a person, a child or a student, it is seen that okay, here the wound is there and it's bleeding, or I have a headache, or I have a stomach ache, or I'm vomiting, or I have a shoulders pain. Okay, but when it comes to mental well-being, it is not seen, and that is a concern for all the psychologists, all the mental health practitioners. So apparently, a person might be happy, happy, enjoying party, sitting with you, and probably the next day you might get news that he's done or she's done something which is not supposed to be done, or probably is suffering from depression. So there is no measurement as such. It is difficult to measure because it is hidden, and that's a major concern. Because if it is seen, you understand. If it is not seen, you don't understand. So it can be only done by assessments.
Ma'am, along with the student's well being, how important do you think is for the schools to keep the point of well being of their teachers in mind?
Wow, I love that, Miss Khan. Okay, imagine. Uh, or why imagine? In fact, we all educators talk about the uh, cup, a full filled cup, right? If you don't have within, as an educator, a sense of self-worth, confidence, you have a disrupt state of mental health, or probably you are not feeling good with yourself, or probably you are disconnected with yourself, you can't give to your children, you can't give to the students. So it is very, very important for the schools and colleges to ensure that the teachers, the educators mental emotional well-being is taken care of more than the students. Because if the teachers and the educators are sorted, the students will be sorted automatically.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was really wanting, because our teachers, our dear, dear teachers, who are our so called nation builders and are truly, truly nation builders. I think in the process of paying attention to the young, ignited minds, sometimes the teachers fall in the backdrop, and they are going on in the rat race, completing the syllabus, and meeting deadlines, setting targets, and in the process our dear teachers are lagging behind, where they have to focus themselves on their happy quotient, the state
time miss
where
khan
we can
time to
feel.
have time to have self-care workshops, self-love
Yeah, yeah.
workshops, happiness programs for the educators, and then the
Yes.
children.
Absolutely taken, ma'am. So I think today's session was really interesting, and all our viewers who have been with us must have definitely enjoyed, because it was truly an interesting session for our dear
Thank you
teachers and
so
students
much.
alike, and
Thank you.
even our parents, because we are like a team. Not only the teachers can do anything alone unless and until we have the cooperation of parents. So we
Absolutely.
together as a team can focus on the well-being of the students. So I hope we all have lovely takeaways from today's session. So a very big thank you to all our dear viewers, and also to the viewers who will be eventually seeing our session later on. And of course, thank you so very much, ma'am, for having
Thank you.
taken out time from your hectic
Always a
schedule
pleasure.
and
Always a
being with
pleasure.
us this evening, and literally, involving us in such an engaging and interesting session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, ma'am. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Stay blessed.